Okay. Hi, my name's Rebecca, and you all should know me from class. If you're watching this on Tumblr, or you probably follow me under Misenchantment, or which links to a Twitter, I believe, and you can also find me under Life with My Two Dogs, which is my dog cookie company, and also my dog lifestyle blog thingy. So I decided to do a video for my creative project in my disability studies class, and I decided to do a video because it's easier for me to sit here and talk in the comfort of my own home and be able to express myself due to some of the disabilities that I do have. And if you're looking at this video going, she doesn't look disabled, congratulations, you just proved my first point. Because, believe it or not, I am on the autistic spectrum, and I identify with the Asperger's mostly. It's not been confirmed whether it's autism, Asperger's, or what the full diagnosis is, but it's classic sign. My disability manifests itself as pervasive development disorder not otherwise specified, or simply PDD-NOS, or Asperger's, because I appear normal or able-bodied. And I don't like the term normal because normal is super subjective, and it's ableist in its terms because that implies that there's an abnormal. And so let's see how this draw function works. And see, I'm already distracted. I also have ADHD, so oh, I can't draw on this unless it's paused. Okay, figured that out. And I don't encounter ableism a lot in my day-to-day life unless, at least personally, unless I tell someone I'm on the spectrum. I'm not read as disabled until you actually interact with me, which can be the case with a lot of people who have are on the spectrum, unless they tend to be nonverbal or lower on the spectrum. It's the most familiar terms are high functioning and low functioning, but even those are ableist terms. And since autism affects people differently, it's a really kind of complex thing. Some people will identify as disabled, other people won't. I myself identify as disabled for other reasons, not because of the autism itself. But so when I tell people I'm on the spectrum, I get a lot of questions such as, hey, you don't look autistic, to which I respond, well, what does somebody with autism look like? And then they kind of go, oh, yeah, or, well, someone's sitting rocking in a corner, or those stereotypical versions of what you've seen. Autism is somebody who doesn't talk, somebody who can't make eye contact, and other than my special eyeball, which is a little joke that we have because I've recently found out I also have a wandering or lazy eye. Can't think of the what's it called term, so I have to wear the prism lenses. So there's a lot more going on than just autism. Let's see here. There it goes. Where are my questions? I have these on my phone. I end up being asked how I either deal with my disease, quote unquote disease, which I've been this way all my life. I don't know how else I would deal, although I wasn't diagnosed until I was an adult, and so I didn't have access to all the resources. Plus, when I was growing up, it was the 1980s, 1990s, so there weren't nearly the resources and access that they had now. They didn't know a lot about it. They just thought they were bad kids or wild children, or they actually would institutionalize people. So I was lucky. My mom and dad were both nurses, and so my mom fought really hard to try to make us as normal as possible, in her own ableist way. I mean, she's got a good heart, and I see it now a lot with my brother, where she still tries to infantilize, excuse me. But I think anyone else probably would have ended up in an institution. I get asked, am I high functioning? And then high functioning, to which I have to respond, is high functioning a term? What designates high functioning, low functioning? I'm high functioning in certain situations, low functioning in other situations, but aren't we all? Not to say that everyone's on the spectrum, because other people go, well, everybody's on the spectrum. Well, no, they're not. They're still learning things about autism, so I also get, you don't look autistic or seem autistic. And then I have to ask them what somebody with autism looks or seems like. So I also get, what do you think of vaccines? What do you think of Jenny McCarthy? And to which I think she is a complete fraud. But that's besides the point, because it turns out her son didn't even have autism, and vaccines can't cause that, because then everybody would have it, or it would be more widespread. And they've proven numerous times that it's not, and even if it does, I would rather have a vaccinated child than a dead child. That's my response. I'm kind of a smart ass with this kind of stuff because I've heard it so much. But or they'll just tell me, you're not autistic, you're just weird. And I try to tell them, I ask them where they got their medical degree, or ask them what school they went to find out their find out to become an expert in autism. But I try to refrain from doing that kind of stuff, from rolling my eyes or smacking them, because that's the first instinct. Just because it's so frustrating to have my diagnosis invalidated by someone who thinks that, a health drink can fix my issues. I try to maintain my composure and make it a teachable moment, so that basically teach them that not everyone with autism is quote unquote low functioning or nonverbal, and even just because someone's nonverbal doesn't mean they can't communicate. I also have a lot of internalized ableism I feel guilty if I'm not working on something, if I'm trying to take a break and just sit and relax or sit and watch TV, unless I become hyper-focused in it, which tends to be an issue for me. I should be able to enjoy my downtime just like everyone else, and sometimes I feel like, I need to be doing something because I'm not contributing to society or the household or whatever, and I just need to be able to take a cue from my dogs and be able to chill out and take a nap. It's something that I struggle with still, and I'm working on. Let's see what else I have. I tend to beat myself up on my anxiety, and so part of the reason I decided to do a video was so that I could have something a little more comfortable for me, instead of getting up and talking in front of people for my presentation. I was able to just put my video and be able to collect my thoughts and sit here on my couch where I'm comfortable. I'm surrounded by my doggies, and the other one's asleep in the chair. This one's over here. So, but a lot of things with autism. This video is going to be really random because I'm in a random mood right now. So I just redid my hair, which I keep looking at it. So what I've learned from this class is that ableism is all around us, and you have to unlearn the internalized stuff, because it's not fair for me to beat myself up when I can't perform the way an able-bodied person would, because I have the disabilities that I do. And the way I quote-unquote deal with it is I have some support groups, some spoonie groups. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the term spoons or spoonies, but for every bit of energy that you exert, it's like giving up a spoon. I'll probably put a link later. I'll figure out how to do that. But add a link in the notes on the Tumblr when I post this to the spoon theory, if you haven't heard of it. So, and there's I'm in a couple of groups, and there's one in particular where they're all so wonderful and so loving, and just, you can post and rant and rave things you can't always tell it. People who don't classify themselves as a spoonie. So I'm saying the word spoonie a lot. Spoonie, 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 spoonie. That's just part of everything, but so that's kind of, let's see what else I had questions on. I had a lot of resources because children with, when people say that I don't seem autistic, I ask them what they seem like, because they've documented them. The medicalized version of it is people with PDD vary widely in ability, intelligence, and behavior. Just because somebody seems smart doesn't mean they're autistic. Somebody's good at a talent doesn't mean they're autistic. I mean, the children that I've worked with autism are either, I had one little boy who was amazing at drawing, but he sang everything. So another little boy that I worked with was 6 years old, still in diapers, couldn't eat, and would hit. So it's not, there's not a standard for the disability, because people are different. Some don't speak at all, some speak in limited phrases, conversation, some have a relatively normal language development where it's not diagnosed so much later like I was. It's usually signs of repetitive play skills and limited social skills, and it's usually those people feeling awkward and anxious. And just because you have an anxiety disorder or you feel awkward doesn't mean you have autism. I felt awkward and out of place throughout my entire life, and coming to find the diagnosis of Asperger's and then on the autistic spectrum helped me realize that it wasn't my fault. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not broken like I used to feel, which was another part of my internal ableism. And I've done a lot of the online quizzes before I went to my doctor and, told him this, and I've done the quizzes since then, and it's all still ringing true. So there's not a medication for it. You just have to manage either the comorbidity things, because along with times, and even then there's a medicalized term for you, comorbidity, which is a disease or disability which goes along with a condition. So like I said, my mom and dad are both nurses, so I kind of feel like I have a junior's nurse degree, but not really. But I would have been the worst nurse because I pass out at the sight of blood. So let's see, what else? I don't have any of the sensory disorders like with eating. I do have some of the gastrointestinal things that are common with people on the spectrum. I have a dairy allergy, which has progressed from being lactose intolerance levels to all the way where it's an anaphylaxis reaction if I eat a piece of cheese or have butter and come in contact with butter. I also get really, 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 really itchy if I handle anything dairy. And I also have to be, and dairy's hidden in everything. So you have to be looking out for whey, for buttermilk, for lactic acid from cows will set it off. So it's a huge ordeal to try to figure out what I can eat, what I can't eat. And so people are like, oh, well, you can't just pick it out. I'm like, okay, you try picking out melted butter. Have fun with that. And I'm going to go over there and eat this piece of celery because it probably won't kill me. But we're having dinner now. So if you hear food noises, that's what that is. So yay, sweet potato French fries. So it's taking longer for me to chew it than I thought it would. So I really wanted to get questions from people. I mean, because I know my youngest brother is autistic, and he actually had some of the resources, and he's still in California, and he has all the resources, like with a job coach, and he just, but he's been such, I guess inspiration's the wrong word, but they told us that he would never speak. He would be the mental age of like a 2-year-old his whole life. So they gave us very little hope for him, and now he is 28. He's graduated high school. He tried to go to college, but he found out it really wasn't for him with the studying, and my mom ended up having to do most of the degree stuff with him, and it was just too much intensive work for him, his words. And he's just, I'm so proud of him because he is now an eloquent, he's an adult, and he came so far, and I watched him struggle, and he just, I figure if he can do it, I can do it, and I can struggle through and get my degree, work on, because even though my version of autism is far less than his was, he is my inspiration, and inspiration is really the wrong word, but I don't know of another word for it. It's because I'm proud of my little brother. I'm proud that he has all these obstacles and he still doesn't let him get him down. And there's some of the obstacles that I myself have stumbled over. So, and people go, oh, well, he's just Christopher. And that's what he says. I'm just Christopher. Don't be inspired by me. I'm just Christopher. But he is one of the most caring and loving people you can ever meet. And completely blasts the stereotype of autistic kids not wanting hugs, not being cuddly and warm and loving. So, and even though I'm ableizing him because I called him a kid, but he's my little brother, and so that's why it's hard for me to believe he's 28. I was 5 when he was born, so I used to call him my baby when I was little. He was my baby. So, and he'll always be my baby brother, so I'm proud of him. So, he's an awesome human being. He's an awesome adult. Whoa! So, and just like anybody who's ever meets him, Christopher is somebody who is positive, and he knows exactly what he wants to do in life, and he gravitates towards good, and he's a good person. And if I could live my life the way he does and have his positivity with things, life would be so much better for everybody if everybody lived like Christopher. We're happy. So, and they used to tell us he was low functioning, which is a horrible term to classify somebody as. So, but he's my buddy. So, well, I've taken up 20 minutes of your time now, so kind of babbling on about how autism has affected me and how wonderful my brother is. So hopefully you have a little bit more of an insight on what somebody who doesn't look autistic but actually is on the spectrum is like. And if this is horribly ableist and awful, I apologize in advance if this is triggering to anybody, but I'm still learning to substitute those horrible terms and get them out of my brain. So, because growing up feeling broken in an able-bodied world, you kind of internalize things, and so I'm trying to rebuild those and reconstruct my ideas of things. Hopefully this wasn't too rambly, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, or at least learned something and didn't fall asleep watching it, because it was probably really boring. Alright, bye! How do I turn this? Oh, there you go.